Cadence is my sister. Love Cadence very much. She's a very hard worker, and she's very smart.
I want to be like Ryan. He's very funny, and he's a lot of friends.
Yeah, exactly.
I like having a lot of siblings. It can be annoying sometimes when they like take your clothes, but like Cadence, it's really fun.
Remember in the summer we used to do this all the time? She taught me how to cheer. She used to have a big tumbling mat, and we used to go out there and play on it.
She was the cutest sister, and I'm glad that she got adopted.
I'm Amy Smith. This is my wife, Monica. We are parents to 5 children that we have adopted. Ryan is 21, Angel is 18, Brianna is 17, Cameron is 16, and Cadence is 11. Our experiences were vastly different in our adoption of Cadence versus the adoption of our first 3 and then our 4th child. When we first fostered our sibling group, we did not have a CASA, and it was much more difficult for us.
Right, we didn't know that was even a thing.
With our 3rd adoption of Cadence, our CASA volunteer was Sister Jane Brady, who is a retired nun.
She was a warm soul helping us through some difficulties and celebrating us when we had some really good milestones. What's really important during the fostering process and the adoption process is the child thriving in the home or not. Is the child comfortable? Is the child acclimating to the world that it has been thrust into? CASA brings the ability to see the child's journey in that home.
Sister Jane not only spent time with Cadence, but also with the other children to ensure that they felt like Cadence was becoming a real part of our family.
CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. We are a nonprofit 501c3 organization advocating for children in the foster care system. CASA serves children with open court cases who have been abused and neglected and sometimes abandoned. Our mission is to advocate for children in the foster care system and be their voice. We want to give them a strong future. Wherever they go in life, whether they're reunified with their parents, or they go on to adoption, or they go on to independent living, we've given them a strong foundation so they can thrive. CASA of Morris and Sussex counties fills a huge gap in the foster care system in our counties. Children can fall through the cracks very easily. The Division of Child Protection and Permanency has a huge number of children to serve, and they can't give one-on-one attention. It's impossible. CASA gives one-on-one attention. Our volunteers serve one case at a time. CASA volunteers are assigned by the court. We are court-appointed special advocates.
You guys bring me information that is unbiased. You guys tell me what's going on. I can't tell you how many times one of your reports has given me a fact that has provided a recommendation that I didn't even think of, and it helps me help children. You have an important role to play.
We are sworn in by a family court judge.
I'll ask that you all stand.
You raise your right hand and you take an oath of confidentiality, an oath to work for the court.
That I will perform the duties of a court-appointed special advocate.
Our CASA volunteers are advocating for a child's best interest. You want children to go back to their parents, and that's what we're hoping will happen. So how can we help those biological parents? If we can help them, we're helping the child. Or if they're not going back to biological parents and they're going to be adopted, how can we support that adoptive family? Or if they're going on to independent living, how do we ensure that they grow up to be strong adults?
Congratulations all. You are now CASA warriors.
My name is John Ryan. I'm a court-appointed special advocate with Morrison, Sussex County CASA. I've been a CASA volunteer for 27 years, and Andre was one of the cases that I worked some 5-6 years ago.
My name is Andre Rue, and I'm currently attending County College of Morris, majoring in business administration. I like to hike, I like to go biking, and I've also been a part of the Scouts.
I first met with the foster parents, as I always do. They brought Andre out, and my first impression, he seemed like he was not rejecting what was happening. He was just curious, but very shy.
I was about 13 years old. John gave me a good handshake, and one of the things that I noticed about him initially is he had a Vietnam hat, and I really admired that, and I really thought, man, this guy's definitely has good intentions. We went and did hiking, biking. We've done a lot of great things together.
Andre's case was relatively short, as a CASA case goes. It was 14 months. And we pretty much knew the outcome right from the start because reunification was not an option for Andre. Every child deserves permanency and a childhood. Andre had the ability to receive that through adoption. But he felt that if he were adopted, he would be abandoning his biological family. I'm not a therapist, but I wanted to make him understand that, no, you're not abandoning your biological family. They're not able to help you at this point. I emphasize that you need to accept the fact that you're going to be adopted. And that took a little bit of time.
The biggest thing that he provided for me was a whole different, fresh perspective. And he helped me kind of, see more of the pros and cons about situations. Most of them were pros, and I realized that there really weren't that many cons.
I've tried to encourage Andre. You're in a great home. You're in a great community. You're in a great school system. Your foster parents are outstanding. This is not the end of the world.
John is very laid back, chill.
We have very similar interests. I enjoy being with him, and he enjoys being with me, and it's a great situation.
We have an amazing, amazing group of volunteers, and they stay with us.
We go well above and beyond just training volunteers to advocate on the behalf of these children. We provide all different types of programs.
Every year, CASA has a big event at the zoo in West Orange. Children and their CASAs are all invited at no charge.
They get to wander around the zoo for 4 hours. It's open to just CASA for this event. There's food, there's fun, there's a magic show.
Hold it tight, kid, Teddy!
Obviously, the biggest challenge for an organization like CASA of Morrison, Sussex is fundraising. We do receive some funding from state and federal sources, but the vast majority of our revenue comes from corporate sponsors and individual outside donors.
It doesn't happen for free. The volunteer service is for free, but all the rest is not.
We have to raise our full budget every year. We are court appointed, we are not court funded.
Every single nonprofit needs to have a steady stream of donations in order to survive.
It takes resources to train volunteers. It takes time, it takes money.
Donating to CASA is a really important thing. First of all, you're supporting your locale, your hometown, your home county, and your state. But more importantly, these are children that are going to go on to participate in the community. And having a CASA worker allows that child a greater guarantee that they're going to be in a better place than they would without a CASA worker. It's a great return on investment.
It's a great return on investment.
Probably one of the most gratifying things, having been a donor professionally through my business as well as personally, is being able to play a role behind the scenes. It's a pretty easy thing when you see the smiles on their faces and you see the impact that you can have in their life.
After our case ended on adoption day, basically we're walking back to the cars, and I said, hey, John, it seems that we've clicked, and we share a lot of similarities, and just great to have you around.
And he said, John, I know the case is over, but can we still be friends? And I almost fell over. And I said, of course we can. And we've been meeting every 2 weeks since then. The things that we do as a CASA are beneficial. The payoff is really for the child, whether it be reunification, adoption, or what have you, but there's also a payoff for the volunteer. With Andre, I got a lot back. Andre has really matured and developed and grown in all regards.
I was very fortunate, for him to be my mentor and my CASA worker. I actually just took a part-time job as being a mentor for special needs kids. And using some of the skills that John has taught me, I hope I can do the same thing and do as good of a job, if not better, that he did.
I view Andre as a son that I never had, and maybe more appropriately, the grandson I never had.
Working at CASA is more than a job for me. This work is important. We need to be compassionate and empathetic individuals, and that's not something that should be turned off. My hours may be 9 to 5, but I'm constantly thinking about the children on my caseload and the volunteers working for them.
This is a labor of love for me. I'm an adoptive mom. I always think, where would my child be? Wouldn't it be great if we were all out of a job and we could close our doors and say CASA's not needed? Children aren't abused and neglected. Nobody needs a CASA. If that's the case, great. But as long as a child needs a CASA, we will be here.